All right, what's going on, guys? So today, if you followed our last video, we got the Dakota project going on that we're working on. So winter's coming up, and we've been going through and kind of revamping the shop and making some changes, adding some lights, just doing a couple of little things here and there. We put some storage shelves in, but more importantly, we have upgraded the compressor. We've decided to put our compressor outside and run our lines in from outside. Now, in order to do that, we need to do a water separator because we've put a bigger compressor in. We went from like a 15 gallon to a 60 gallon, two-stage, 220 volt, puts out about 13.5 SCFM at 90 PSI, which is going to go real good for running sanders, especially paint guns, things of that nature, stuff that consumes a lot of air, and that's something we've been needing to do. Well, I looked around online and I found a bunch of stuff. One of the things was this Nanpoo system right here, and I may not be saying that correctly, but basically we've got a water separator. It comes with a gauge and it has a built-in regulator system where we'll put this gauge in the front, and what the plan is that we're going to use this to regulate the pressure coming into the shop. In other words, we'll set it around 105, give or take, and we've got everything run in on 3/4. This line right here is coming up from the compressor itself, and I'll show you down below. I've got a drain system built into that. What I'm trying to do with this wall right here, and you can see the lines, the chalk lines that are popped out on it, I'm trying to lay this out to a point to where we can have a water separation system. Normally you need, different people say different things, 25 feet roughly. We're going to end up with more than that, which I think the more the better. And then what we'll do is, once this system is put together and run, this will mount up here on the wall, and then out of here will go our 1/2-inch feed line that goes out through the entire shop. Now right now, I mean, you can see I'm almost at the roof right here where we've got some foam insulation and stuff put in. I'm on a shelf in the back corner of the shop. The compressor is right outside the wall here, down on the ground on a concrete pad with a metal enclosure and everything, and it's sealed off out there. So the compressor can run out there and we can work inside of here without having to listen to the compressor run continuously, because that drives you nuts inside the shop. So let's jump on in and get started on putting this together. Now you're going to see that I'm doing this with PEX. Some people say you can't use PEX for this. Some people say you can. This is what I'm doing. I'm not telling you that this is correct or incorrect. This is just how I'm building my system for here in the shop. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this PEX fitting on. We'll push our pipe up, we'll lock our PEX line in, and what I'm gonna do is use my tools to crimp this. Just like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this one below it to put this first 90 in. Now, once I get this first 90 put in right here, we've got it crimped in, and I put chalk lines on the wall. There is a 2-inch rise from here out to here where it's going to end. And then what we'll do is we've got a little section that's going to bring it up, and this is basically going to go up the wall just like this right here. And that way what we'll have is this will go downhill, 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 and then it'll go all the way down. I'll get you a picture of this fitting and everything down here, because what I done is I made it long to where it goes almost to the floor from where the end of the compressor is. My thought process on it was put the valve as low as I could get it for my drain, so water wouldn't fill up that tube and dump back over into the compressor. I'll still have to drain the compressor outside because it'll build up moisture inside of it. But at least this way, we're trapping the biggest part of the water and giving it a chance to cool down and condensate and let the water run back down before we get to our first filter. Now, something I didn't mention a minute ago is that I have some of these as well. And I just bought these through the Nampu system. I like them because they're cast, they're not plastic, but these are just water separators that are gonna go at our hose connections. This will go, I'll put one over at the lift. We'll have one where it has a fitting over here in the side where the tractor and everything else is at, to air tires and do things over there. And then we'll have a fitting that goes outside. And then we're also going to have one of these set up on the far side of the shop over in the woodworking section, so we can have nice dry air over there as well. If we need to spray some stain or do something to that extent, we'll know that we have dry air at every one of our fittings. And that's what I've decided to do with our shop setup. Now, like I said, I'm using PEX, and one of the things I opted for is these style clamps that you can get at Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere like that. It takes 2 screws to put them onto the wall. And the reason I like these is because they have this section down here at the bottom to where when the pipe is in it, it splits open, but when you put it on there, it gives it an isolation point right here on the bottom, so this isn't rubbing directly on the contact surface. I'm a little bit tight right here, but hopefully I'm gonna be able to stand that off with a clamp just a little. But the biggest thing for me is the shop has got all metal beams in it. So when we run the 1/2 inch line and stuff, this will keep it from rubbing against that metal. It'll give it a plastic isolation area to keep from wearing a hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna get this thing put together, and then we'll see how it goes. And guys, what I'm doing is basically, I'm just following this red chalk line that I popped on here at the center of my clamp. And that's where I'm screwing it in. And I mean, this sheet up here, this is only like, I think this is 7/16 OSB. I hate to say it this way, but it was actually the cheapest 4x8 sheet of plywood I could get at Lowe's. Lumber is ridiculous right now price-wise. So trying to not spend no more money than I absolutely have to on this project and get it put together. So that's kind of the thing, but I don't think you need a whole lot up here. 7/16, 1/2 inch, something to that extent. We just need something to screw this to hold this line so it'll keep that downhill path. Right, now this tool, I bought this at Lowe's a long time ago. It works really good for tight spaces, doing PEX, like between floor joists and things of that nature. It just does really good. And the thing of it is once you go so far, it won't crimp anymore, and this blue light comes on and tells you that you have fully crimped your fitting. Now, these are 1/2 inch fittings on this. And and we've got arrows on the top pointing the direction that it goes through here. So we're gonna need a 3/4 fitting on this side, and I've got a 3/4 to half fitting right here. And all I'm gonna do is screw this in temporarily because I need to put some Teflon on it and get it set up the way it needs to be. We've got our bracket in here to mount this. Spin the plastic nut off. I think that's the only thing on this that's plastic, is this nut that holds it to the wall. There you go. The mounting piece is plastic. What about that? Holds a metal bracket on. If I can hold my mouth right and get that started, there we go. So there's that. That'll go in there, and that's going to mount right here. Now we're not going to be able to put a clamp up here, but we can put one back here to hold it, and it'll be fine. But this will give me the ability to where I can pop right up here beside the shelf from the shop section and hit this drain, and we can drain this off. I can run a tube off from here, a little plastic tube, and put it into a bucket, or for that matter, I can run it out, whatever I want to do. But that is going to be our water separator. Now, well, it's YouTube, folks. All right, we didn't break anything. Thank goodness. Now to go out into the shop, we're going to 1/2 inch pecks from here. So we've got a 1/2 inch and a 3/4. From here, we will feed out and we'll start running all of our drops into the shop. But this is our water separation system. Bring this camera back up just a little bit here, where you can see, and you'll see right here. This one's wanting to flex a little bit here, but we're uphill, 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 uphill. This one's hanging down. It'll go up here once it's done. That's going to allow all of our water to drain down and go down to that valve. And once it gets down there, as long as we drain it on a regular basis, they say you're supposed to drain your compressor daily. I don't use it daily, so we'll drain it after use. In other words, if I'm down here working on a Monday and Tuesday, and I'm finishing up Tuesday afternoon, then I need to drain it off. If I'm getting ready to do painting or something to that extent, I'm gonna drain everything, let it build up, drain it again, and then build to have pressure back up so we can go forward with it. But guys, that is my water separation unit. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with water. We've got this Nampu piece here that's gonna go in. That's gonna be our regulator to set our 105 PSI coming out into the shop. And then we've got one of these to go with this. It's going to go at each one of our drops. We're going to put in 3 drops. We'll have 3 of these set up in the shop. They drain just the same. Metal housing again. You know, that was the selling feature for me, was the fact that they were metal. Seen a lot of people complain about the plastic ones. They break or whatever the case may be. But this is our system. We are set up, and we're ready to continue plumbing and turn the compressor on. Guys, listen, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Stick with us. We'll be coming to you with more videos. The Dakota project is going to be coming back online here pretty quick. We've got some other videos, some tool reviews and things that we're doing in the works right now. And you need to stick with us, subscribe, hit that button, give us a thumbs up, drop comments or questions down below. And as always, we appreciate you tuning in.